On August 6, US President Donald Trump signed an executive order imposing an additional 25% tariff on Indian goods, citing New Delhi's continued purchase of Russian oil. The new measure, to take effect in 21 days, will be added on top of a separate 25% tariff due to come into force on Thursday, effectively doubling the overall duty on Indian imports to 50%. In tariff rankings, India now matches Brazil at the top with 50%, followed by Syria at 41%, Laos and Myanmar at 40%, and Switzerland at 39%. However, the imposition of an additional 25% of tariff will have a huge impact for India's exports to the United States. More than half of India's exports to the United States are now at risk following the imposition of an additional 25% duty by the US. Although the US has exempted key sectors such as steel, aluminium, semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, and automobiles, the tariff hike will still impact nearly 60% of India's $91 billion exports to the US, amounting to around $63.5 billion in vulnerable trade. Among the most affected sectors is textiles, where India competes directly with Bangladesh, Pakistan, Vietnam and the Philippines, all of whom have been assigned lower duty rates of 19 to 20%. The higher tariff could significantly erode India's competitiveness in apparel, home furnishings, and other labor-intensive goods. In the recent announcement, SEBI shipments worth around $30 billion covering pharmaceuticals and certain electronic products such as smartphones, semiconductors and energy are so far secure from steeper duties, given that they are under an exemption list. India exported drugs and pharmaceutical as well as electronics products, mostly smartphones, to the tune of $10.5 billion and $14.6 billion in FY25, constituting 29% of its overall outbound shipments to the US. Indian exports to the US stood at $86.51 billion in FY25. Ironically, India's petroleum exports, which was worth $4.09 billion in FY25, are also currently secure from Trump's fresh tariffs thanks to energy being in the exemption list as well. These categories of exports were not subject to the earlier 25% tariff announced on July 30th as well. To be sure, risks remain. Trump has threatened tariffs up to 250% on foreign-made drugs, while smartphones may lose their exemptions depending on any unpredictable decisions by his administration. In an executive order on August 6, the US indicated that those exempted from reciprocal tariffs will continue to enjoy zero-duty access to American markets so far. The latest escalation not only poses a direct threat to India's merchandise exports, but could also have wider implications for bilateral trade relations, particularly in the context of India's geopolitical positioning and trade alliances.